Well, I've got a bit of an interesting one for you today. Bonafide cheapy hidden gem in my opinion, because at the recording of this, which is also where I got it from, you can get a tester for $20. And based on my evaluation that I'm about to discuss with you here today, I think it's a steal at that price. I'm talking about Pepe Jeans Celebrate for Him. So stay tuned. So like I was saying, I did pick it up for 20 bucks from Kingdom Fragrance, which I will have linked below for those of you interested in scooping it up. And it is in a white tester box, so nothing special here with the box. Now the bottle is quite interesting. It's that studded glass that goes across the entire line. Now I've heard Pepe Jeans Cocktail is very good. I'm gonna have to try that one, as well as the original Pepe Jeans London. Have some fragrance information on the bottom. This is kind of like that, looks like a mixer, you know, to mix margaritas on the rocks and stuff like that, the shot glass. And then this is the shaker, you know. Clever. Cap does click into place. Does say not to be taken on the back. And does have very good atomizer. Makes a weird sound though. Let's talk about this scent. So I'm actually gonna give myself a few sprays. I'm actually wearing it right now. It's my current scent of the day as well. The opening is a blast of black currant and this cacao pod. Okay, so what do I get from this cacao pod? Because I get it start to finish. It is the most dominating thing I smell the entire life of the fragrance. For me, it's a chocolatey leather smell with this lovely warm spice cinnamon that kind of supports it in the background, even up top. So up top, I don't really get much of the lime. I do get just a little hint of fruit juice type of smell with this bitter, tart fruitiness of the black currant. So I do get pretty much what the top notes say it's going to be. It's pretty much what I get with the cacao pod and the cinnamon. I don't really get any tonka bean up top. That doesn't come in until much later, I find, and even then it's pretty subdued. It does add a little bit of a powdery quality, but up top, it's that tart, juicy fruitiness up top with this chocolatey leather smell. It's just delightful. And this lovely, warm, spicy cinnamon in the background that doesn't really take over. As you get into the heart and it starts to settle in, the cinnamon comes much more into the forefront. Not a cinnamon bomb in any way. If anything, it's a cacao bomb. This cacao pod, it's like I said, this chocolatey leather smell. I've never had it dominate this much of a fragrance outside of it. It kind of reminds me of the cacao note that's used in 5 o'clock Eau Gingembre from Serge Lutens. Well, obviously not on the quality level of a Serge Lutens fragrance. It definitely reminds me of that, though it doesn't have the smoky nuance. It does have the chocolatey leather nuance that it can provide. I think this is a bit on the unique side. I've heard people compare it to Pure XS, which I haven't tried personally. And if so, then Pure XS must be great, but this is much cheaper. And as it dries, like I said, a little bit of tonka bean, a little touch of powder, but it's mostly this chocolatey leather smell with cinnamon that I kind of get throughout. It doesn't change a lot. It's pretty linear from start to finish, minus that juicy fruit smell up top that does burn off after about an hour, and it's really settled into what the fragrance is all about. I do find it, for being pretty linear and not really complex, to have a bunch of character with it. You know, the amberwood doesn't really overtake this fragrance. That birch just adds this nice dark wood type of nuance without making it a really smoky fragrance. There's a very, very faint dark wood nuance in the background. That the way it blends with the amberwood, it just doesn't come off too synthetic, which I find is an added bonus, because at the price point you would expect very synthetic, but not really. It's actually quite lovely. The way I would characterize the accords I get, I would say it's warm, spicy, and sweet. Has a little bit of a boozy nuance with no boozy note. That kind of fades up top because it's really kind of the black currant giving me a little bit of this boozy nuance is what I attribute it to. But it burns off pretty quickly and goes away. Becomes a chocolatey, leathery, slightly smoky, dark wood type of smell with the cinnamon spice. So the warm spice is definitely going to be the main feature here, but it does have a little bit of a gourmand approach but not a gourmand fragrance in any way, because I do get a lot of chocolatey leather smell. The scent on this, it's awesome. In regards to performance, this is where it floored me. For 20 bucks, this is one of the best performing $20 fragrances I've ever sprayed. Right around 9 to 10 hours. So I would say safe bet 8 to 10 hours is really the range you can put it in. But all the test sprays and the couple of times I've worn this now, it's 9 to 10 hours of longevity on my skin. So the lifespan on it is plenty. That's well beyond what you would expect for a not so synthetic fragrance that lasts all day. For $20, that's pretty damn hard to beat. Cheapy hidden gem is an understatement for this one. And projection, I find surprising. While very heavy in the first hour and a half to 2 hours, not room filling, but very well pronounced, very in my own face, because I do spray my chest, and maybe 2 sprays on my chest might be a little too much moving forward. Maybe I'll just do 1 spray, because it's very in my own face even. And my wife earlier today, as a matter of fact, said, and this was 4 hours into me wearing the fragrance roughly, said, wow, your cologne is so strong. When we were getting out the car to go into Sam's Club, I did get an unsolicited compliment walking through by, which aisle were we on? I was getting some more cashews, so right around that center area. Ooh, you smell very nice. When I was walking by, I said, thank you very much. It's always nice to get an unsolicited compliment. Doesn't happen all the time, but it was noteworthy. It's the only compliment outside of my wife that I've ever gotten from the fragrance, so it was noteworthy. It does seem to leave a decent sillage, a decent trail, and like I said, projection's pretty heavy in the first 2 hours, and then it does sit a bit closer to the skin the rest of the way. But even now, I am every bit of 7 hours into today's wearing, and I still get wafts pretty easily, but it's definitely not pushing like it was several hours ago. Much more close to the skin, but still pronounced enough that when I walk by, more times than not, you probably will smell me, though I can't really say it's a strong attention grabber halfway through its lifespan, but early on, it can definitely turn some heads. Overall, at 20 bucks, this one's in the must-buy territory for me. I think this is worthy of rolling the dice. If you're looking for something a little bit different, that's spicy but not too sweet, that does offer some gourmand touches without being this sweet, chocolatey, honey bomb gourmand fragrance that doesn't smell like a dessert, I think you might want to give this one a shot. Like I said, 20 bucks. It's a full presentation with the cap, just comes in a white tester box. I think it's worthy of rolling the dice. I really do. And it doesn't smell like anything else I have in my collection, which is an added bonus for me personally. And like I said, cheapy hidden gems an understatement for this one. That's why it's not that often that I deem in my overall assessment something be a must buy. But in this instance, I think for 20 bucks, there's so much worse you can do. There's a lot of average and slightly above average and slightly below average out there in that $20 range, rack stores, some discounters online, but this is well above average. This is a very good fragrance. If I have to put a number on it, I'm calling this a 7.5 out of 10. I think this is a very good fragrance, well worth much more than I paid for it at the $20 mark. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Pepe Jeans. Celebrate for him. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried anything from this line? Have you tried this particular fragrance? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? It's all subjective. Just because I think it's a very good fragrance, you may have tried it, and you may disagree, and that's okay. Not everything is for everyone, but I definitely think this is worth a dice roll for a blind buy. If anything I said interests you, man, it's different. It's different. It's not mass appealing, but it's different in a very good way. It outperforms and outsmells its cost. It punches well above its price point, in my opinion. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Pepe Jeans, celebrate for him, and you give it a spray now, you might just end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.